Hi everyone, this is Crispy1001 at kpcoolstuff.com. This is our 23rd video on how to use Blender and the Blender2FSX add-on to make models for Flight Simulator 10. In this video we're going to be making a landable platform. We'll be using the attach point, no crash, and platform. So let's get started. Let's open Blender. And let's go ahead and delete the camera. Oh, let me turn on my screencast. Okay, and let's also delete the light and delete the cube. I'm going to turn off my manipulator gizmo. Okay, next I'm going to go to the toolbar over here. I'm going to go down to miscellaneous, which gives me access to my FSX tool, or the Blender2FSX add-on tools. And I'm going to click on initialize toolset. Then I'm going to go over to our object window, which is over here, and I'm going to click on scene. And I'm going to change the units of measure to imperial. Okay, so we have it set up pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to hit Shift A. I'm going to insert a empty, and it's going to be a cube. I'm going to name that empty by clicking on the Object tab. We're going to name it Root, R-O-T. We're going to click on Generate Guide, and I'm going to give it a friendly name. So we'll call it Platform 1. Okay, after that, next let's add a mesh. So do a Shift A, go to Mesh, and Cube. Okay, this time I'm going to use the transform to set the sizes that I want. So I'm going to go to Dimension on the X. I'm going to set 40 for 40 feet. I'm going to do Y behind the Y at 40 feet and Z at 80. I'm going to zoom out. Oops. Okay. Next thing we need to do, we need to put this back to a default scale, because you can see now our scale is messed up. So put your 3D cursor back into the 3D workspace and do a Control A. And we're going to go apply scale. As you can see, it makes our default scale back to 111. Let's go into a front view, which is the number 1 on the number pad. And you can see up here, either be in perspective or orthographic. We want to do orthographic, so hit the 5 on the numeric pad. Now we're in orthographic. And we want to hit the Z key. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to move this object so its bottom of the object is right at the level of its median, I think. Let's see what it's called. Forgot what it was called. Oops. Origin. So we want to move it to its, that part is right there at the origin. So we're going to hit Tab to go in edit mode. We're going to hit G, and we want to go in Z direction, so Z, and move it up right there. We can hit Tab, or let's hit A to get out of edit mode. I'm sorry, to unselect all the vertices. Then I'm going to go in to 3D mode. I want to change so you can see, you can choose faces. I want to choose this face right here. I then want to go and I want to subdivide it once. And I want to hit A to unselect and select by vertex again. I want to choose that middle vertex. The reason why we're doing this, I want to set my 3D cursor right there. So I want to have a position that I can get it exactly in the middle of the face. So now I want to do a Shift S. And we want to cursor to selected. So that puts our 3D cursor right at that point. Then hit A to unselect. Oops. A to unselect. And Tab to get edit mode. So now what we want to do, we want to add another object. First though, let's name this object. So go back over and click on the Object tab if you're not already. And let's type in platform bottom. Okay. Then let's do a Shift A. And we want to do another cube. Let's hit 1 to go into a front orthographic view. And we're going to size that so in the X and the Y direction we're going to be 120 and we're going to be 3 foot in the Z. So go to dimensions, in the X type in 120, in the Y click 120, and in the Z go 3. Then let's set our scale back to default. Make sure your cursor's in the 3D workspace. Hit Control A and scale. That's good. At this point, let's go ahead and save our file in case something happens. We'll have we'll be able to go and just load it again. So let's go File, Save As, navigate to where your main project folder is for this. I called mine Rig 1. And I'm going to type in my name. I'm going to call mine Platform Test 5. So I'm going to call mine Platform Test 5. And save as Blender file. Okay, so we're saved. Now we want to name this item. So still have the tab for the object selected. Click on the name, and let's call this Platform Upper. Okay, now I want to move this one as well, so the bottom of this is at the top of the other one, or the other object. Let's scroll in. Let's go into this one. We'll just hit G and Z for the Z direction. I'm going to hold down the Shift so I can do smaller increments in movement. And I'm going to leave it right there. Okay, so now that's what we look like. Okay, the next thing we want to do, we want to add a plane. So let's go back into front orthographic view. So that's 1 on the keyboard, or number pad. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to reset my, no we won't, we'll just leave it as it is. So let's just go ahead and go Shift A and plane. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, on the X and Y dimensions, we want to make it 120. So on the X, 120, and the Y, 120. Then we're going to make our scale back to default. Control A, and scale. And we're back to default. Zoom in. We're going to bring that plane now top of the surface right there. So let's do a grab and escape. Grab in the Z direction, and I'm going to hold down Shift again so I can move it a little more precise. And I'll put it right just a little bit below. Right there. Okay. Now let's name this one. We're going to name this one Platform. Okay. I'm going to start grouping our objects. So let's click on, let's go into, well, let's go ahead. We already have the platform selected. So let's, the platform upper. Hold down Shift and you go to your tree window here. Click on that one. And then we'll also hold down Shift on platform bottom. Put your 3D cursor back in the workspace, or your cursor back in the 3D workspace. Hit Control P. Set parent to object. Okay, now you can see over here in your tree structure that now platform bottom has platform and platform upper. Now we want to click on platform bottom and hold down Shift and click on root. Take your cursor back in the 3D workspace and hit Control P and set parent as object. So now everything is parented to the root object. Okay, we hit A to unselect everything. Let's hit save again to save our work. Okay, the next process we're going to do, we're going to start applying our attach points to our items. Let's select platform upper. Platform upper, we are going to put a no crash attachment to it. The platform will have the platform attachment. So let's go ahead and do that. Platform selected, which is our plane. Let's go into our miscellaneous. And I don't need my animation one. I need to click on FSX Attach Point Tool. Just to be doing, let's initialize our tool set again. Okay, now let's click on No Crash and then Attach. You see it there, added attach point. We can go make sure you have the object tab selected. Scroll down and you see attach point tag yes. Then you can also look at the XML for this attach point and properties, and you can see that we have a no crash applied to that. So let's go ahead and minimize that. Now let's click on our platform upper. Oh no, I did the wrong thing. Okay, I clicked on platform, but I give it a no crash. That is not what we want to do. So let's clear. This will at least show you how you can go back and reset everything or clear everything. So let's hit clear. And if you go back over here and look, attach point tag, no. And in the FSX XML properties, nothing. So let's try that again. So with platform selected, we do not want no crash. We want platform. We want to select a type and give it a name. This name here has to be unique. If you have any other platform objects or attachments on this object, both of them or all of them have to have an individual name unique to one another. So let's hit the name. They just put platform test. Next, I'm going to do the material or the type that the platform is going to be made out of. So you can see all the different type of materials you can have. I'm going to choose asphalt. Now I'm going to hit attach. Attach point or added attach point tag. We can go now back over to the object tab. Attach point tag, yes. And then if we open back up here, you can see your FSX XML showing that we have a platform and it has a type of asphalt. And we'd have to open that up more to see it. Oops. Well, if you click into it, now you can see surface type asphalt, and it is a platform. So let's go ahead and minimize that. Now let's click on the platform upper. Clear your platform checkmark. And we want to checkmark no crash and attach. You can see added attach point tag. Attach point tag yes. And no crash for the XML for that attach point. Okay, so we're finished with that. Let's go ahead and hit File and Save. We can get out of this now. Oh, remember to, depending on how you're going to be making your XML file for this object, senior object, if you're doing it manually by writing your own XML file with Notepad, or you're also doing a batch file or something like that, you need to copy and put that in Notepad. If you're going to be using a third party or a program made by someone else, and depending on how they made it, you may or may not. Now I have wrote my own program, and it will, the program I have will take this guide right out of the model file. So I'm not going to copy it, but if you don't know how to do that, you click on it, do a Control-C, and then just go ahead and enter again so you don't mess up that. And that would have it. You can go down to Notepad and paste. And you can see that has your guide number now, or guide name. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do on this model is to apply the materials. Now we are not going to put textures on this one. We're going to put simple materials so we can just get it into FSX and test it. So let's click Z to go into solid mode. Let's click on our bottom platform, or platform bottom. Let's go to the materials tab, which is right there, and click on new. Let's name the material. Let's say main color, and click on the diffuse and select your color. I'm just going to make mine a dark gray. I'm going to change the intensity of the specular intensity down to 0.25. Next, I'm going to click on the platform upper, new material, name it upper color. Click on diffused, give it a little bit lighter gray. Click on specular intensity, 0.25. And now let's click on platform. Platform, let's hit new. We'll put platform. Now the platform, we do not really even want to worry about a color. We have to give it a material because we want to make it transparent. So we're going to go down, we're going to click on the transparency, check mark it, and go to the alpha and go 0. Then we can hit file and save. We are now ready to export our model file. So let's go to file, export, export DirectX for FSX. Make sure you're in your main project folder and click on your model folder. That says I already have one because I did this before, but it's just going to override it. I'm going to export my model file. Now you don't have to export your animations because there aren't any, but I'm going to go ahead and leave mine checked, and I'm going to hit export FSX. Okay, so that is done. We can now close this. Okay, now depending on how you're going to do it, first I'm going to run my program first, so it'll make the XML file for me, and then I'll show you how to write your own manual if you want to. So I'm going to open it up. So I'm going to set my BGL comp path first. I have to tell it where it's at. Program files. Microsoft Games. SDK, environment, BGL. And there it is, BGL comp exe, and open. Then I have to choose my model file. Rig 1, model, open. Okay. Now, of course, too, you're going to have this other information. You're going to have the altitude, the longitude, the latitude, the longitude, the altitude. If your altitude is 0 is actually at ground level, or if you're actually going to go by the actual altitude of that, the altitude that you're at is at 0 and is at whatever ground level. I have it set true as default. That means 0 is actually at ground level. You'll need pitch, bank, heading, your image complexity. So how I usually get mine, I'll go into Flight Simulator. I'll fly a helicopter or a plane to wherever I want. I'll land, stay there. I'll go to map, get my longitude and latitude and the direction and everything, and then I have all information to fill this out. But I already have mine set up, so I'm just going to put in the information. So altitude is north 35, 51.74 feet. And longitude is west 11935 0.56. My altitude is 0. That's going to stay true. Pitch is 0. Bank is 0. Heading is 276. Image complexity is normal. And I'm going to click to make my XML file. Okay, there's my XML file. And I have it that it saves it as soon as you do that, and it'll save it with the name of your model file. And then I'll make the BGL file, and it'll also save the same in the same directory as the model file. Okay, I'll close that. BGL. Okay, so there's the BGL file, the model file, and there's the XML file that it made. So I'm going to open that up so everybody can see how to do an XML file. Okay, so you can write this information down if you haven't did it before by pausing the video. And remember, if you're going to do it in Notepad, when you write down this information and you get ready to save it, hit File, Save As. Make sure to save your as type as all. So when you go in here and you put your extension XML, it doesn't make it a text file. So I'll leave that up a little bit so you can pause. Okay. And then, if you're going to do your BGL file manually, I have a batch file here. If someone wants to make a batch file, okay, if you haven't made a batch file before, rem just means remark. Echo means turning on the text, so it'll print out to the command line or your command window. CD is change directory. This is the path that you're going to have to put in if you did a default install of your FSX. This is the default path it'll be in. Now you could also put a slash there and go right into your command, but I usually separate my command from my path. Then this is the BGL comp exe file with a switch, verbose, which will give it an output of the file processing that it's going through. And then this will be the path to your XML file that you made. So make sure you put in that path correctly with the extension for the XML file. Pause. I paused it just so if you wanted to see the output of the command line from the BGL comp. To get past that, just hit the enter key and then echo off. Write that in the text file. Again, save as. Change your save as type to all. And then at the end of it, put a .bat or bat. So it'd be BGL underscore COMPILE .bat. And then when you click on that, it would run the program. And just be doing, I can go ahead and click on it to show you what the output will look like. So I'm going to click on it, and it'll just rewrite this one too, that the program I have that's already wrote. So let's just go ahead and run it. Okay, so you can see it went through, and there's the path to your XML file, and it goes through and processes it and then tells you parse complete. If you had any errors, it would give you errors. Now to finish it, just going to hit the Enter key, and you would have your BGL file made that way. Okay, I'm going to pause now because I'm going to have to use a camera to record my flight simulator this time, because the program I'm using to do screen capture does not like my flight simulator running. So please hold on, bear with me. Okay, I forgot that I didn't tell you where to put your BGL file. So let's go ahead and do that. So go to where your BGL file has been made for your platform. Do copy. Then open up a location to your flight simulator, which if you did a default install, it'll be C drive, program files x86, Microsoft Games, Flight Simulator 10. Then you can either put it in add-on scenery or scenery. I usually put mine in scenery. If you put in add-on scenery, go to scenery, paste it there. If you do it in scenery, click it there, go to world, go to scenery, and then paste. And there it is. So let's minimize these. And I'm going to pause it now and start Flight Simulator.
Okay guys, here we go. There's our platform. Okay, there we go, so we can land on it.
Okay, I'm back. So you can see our platform works. We can land on it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.